Hello everybody. Welcome to an island lost to time. This is the first ever episode of the series, excluding the pilot, which is canon and you should watch. This is the woodlands of the Isle. There's a small creek, or more of a river, that separates a little bit of an island, and the main part. Today we will explore this island, or explore this biome. We will also visit back with the jungle and meet some of our old friends. We will meet new ones in this episode. Alright, now with that being said, we shall begin. Over in an area very close nearby, there is an Apatosaurus who is grazing on these very tall bits of fern, grass, we don't know. He seems to be enjoying himself. It's a nice safe haven from all the predators that lurk in these parts. Dinosaurs like sauropods will stay here for almost their entire lives. Every now and then though, every 5 or so years, there will be a drought that can cause, mass plant life to die and dinosaurs to die of dehydration. This year is not one of the years that this will happen, as the pond or the ponds and the rivers are actually almost overflowing with the amount of water they have. This Apato needs to graze, or else he will starve, as they need to keep up their massive body weight. We will move over now to a different animal. Same time period, but more different. Now, the same time period comment I said was wrong. Yes, it comes from the same group in the Mesozoic, or in the Cenozoic era. It is a Jurassic animal. But unlike Apatosaurus, which is a late Jurassic, this is a mid to early Jurassic. Another sauropod. But this one is different. It's smaller. But the thing about this dinosaur is that it is the Shunosaurus. Found in China, it has a very strong tail. Some of them, more of the female variety, have clubs to protect their young, while the males don't. At least, that is what we've seen. We've seen many males not have clubs. But again, theory is not 100% confirmed. You see, this Shunosaurus likes to stay here. He roams this area in keeping watch for any predators. After all, he can defend himself very well. You see, he's not looking for food like the Apatosaurus is. He wandered off a bit. Now he's looking back for his herd. There's a very deep canyon. Or not a deep one, but a very it's a very good drop for a canyon. That is where his herd stays, as it provides really great protection. He decides to start walking there now. After about 20 or so minutes of walking, he finally arrives at where his herd is. This is his herd. Now, you might not be able to see much, but over there is a giraffe, a Parasaurolophus, a rhinoceros, a pygmy hippopotamus, a Pachyrhinosaurus, and a rhino. Now, These are the animals that are in this Shunnosaurus' herd. Now, again, you might be saying, but that one Canadian dino, there are animals here. I thought this was a dinosaur herd. Well, my viewer, even though, yes, you have a point, this is a dinosaur herd, many of the animals still team up as they provide beneficial needs for each other, such as rhino providing a very good amount of support with its horn, or the pygmy hippo being able to go in water really helps with them to make sure there are no predators. But it's not just a one-sided thing. Animals like Pachyrhinosaurus also provide help for the smaller and weaker animals of our time. Now, the Shunnosaurus walks into his herd. A grateful roar or grateful horn toot by the Parasaurolophus knows he's welcome. What you don't know is that this herd is being stalked by something very sinister. A Dromaeosaurus. He's been watching this herd for a little bit. He knows he couldn't take on most of the animals in it. But he does know that pygmy hippopotamus would be very easy of a kill. He sneaks back into the bushes, getting ready for the hunt. But the pygmy hippo is so unaware that it decides to walk off away from its herd. He gets to about 12 to 15 feet away from his herd. They're all busy grazing. The only way he will be able to alert his herd is by screaming or roaring or whatever noise they make. Unfortunately for it, this Dromaeosaurus is very great in silent takedowns. He leaps. The pygmy hippo falls down the rock. Now he is about 20 feet away from his herd. But this provides the perfect opportunity for the Dromaeosaurus to attack. Blood sprays on the moss surrounding the pygmy hippo. He starts to eat the fresh carcass. It's at a point where none of the herbivores can see it, which means they are completely unaware of what just happened. Thankfully, the Dromaeosaurus was smart. If it didn't, and it killed it still on that rock, they would have noticed it, and the Dromaeosaurus probably would have been dead without getting to eat the meal. It's good. It's full of nutrition. He gets up. Almost finished what's left, as animals this small don't provide much meat. He starts to go for the final bits. And eventually, there's not much left, and so he runs off, back into the brush. All of the herbivores still graze, completely unaware. The plains biome. One where many herbivores get their source of ferns and grass and berries. Lots of things grow here. That's why most herbivores end up coming here, as it's very, very great for things like this. Some animals that end up coming here have plates on their backs. This is one with the Stegosaurus in its herd. It's followed by another. And a juvenile. A young adult as well. And finally, the two hatchlings. They instantly run over to their mother, who comforts them as they were both left behind. Their father also comes over to comfort them. This is one of the many Stegosaurus herds on this island. Over north, but not by much, there is a young Brachiosaurus who wandered away from his herd. He is nervous, as he's never been away from his herd. He's only about a week old. He notices some large flowers and decides to start eating. But what he doesn't know is that a young hatchling is good food for some. A leopard stalks a young Brachio. He walks closer, trying to get the perfect view, ready to pounce at any moment to finally secure the kill. At a moment's notice, he leaps and jumps onto the Brachio. The Brachio tries to scream, but it's too late. The jaguar has already put an end to it. It's a gory scene. Blood even is sprayed onto the little flower on top. Jaguar starts to eat the dead Brachio. But the Stegosaurus are completely unaware. Welcome to the undergrowth. This is in the middle of the woodlands. Trees have fallen, new trees have sprouted. Dinosaurs still roam here, as if nothing happened. Like one right now. A bull male Triceratops. He is alone as it's mating season for them, which means he is looking for a mate with those very beautiful, fancy white colors. This would be a very easy thing for him, except where he is, he stands out like a very sore thumb. A lone Utah raptor. He's on the ground. He's looking at the Triceratops. It's not in his favor. He could fall down that big crevice, definitely breaking multiple bones if he decides to risk it. But he does. He leaps and jumps on. The Triceratops instantly tries to start shaking him off, but the Utah raptor stays put. He starts to claw away while still trying to be knocked off until he falls over, trying to collect himself. But what he doesn't know is that it is ready to charge. He runs and smashes the Utah raptor. Blood sprays on the trees. The Utah raptor is caught by a couple of branches. He gets up, very injured, and decides to hide underneath the log to stay alive. The Triceratops stands there, proud of his victory, and decides to walk, still looking for a mate. This is the last location we'll be looking at for today. This is the depths, or the very, very edge of the jungle region. Many animals live here, dinosaurs and non-dinosaurs. Things that you'd expect to live in the jungle live in here. such as your gorillas and things like that. But this is a very beautiful region. There's rocks. There's a nice, beautiful bush with these beautiful purple leaves. There's grasses that grow to be about 30 feet. It's a beautiful location that we will view for the remaining of this episode. A triceratops stays here, grazing on some ferns that surround the jungle. Out of nowhere, a parasaur decides to join it, as the parasaur would like some protection. It starts to graze on some ferns behind it. This parasaur is a male, or actually more of a female due to the colors being better for blending in than to, well, you know what I mean, to attract females. What they don't know is that another animal actually wants to join them in this feast. A sauropod, not a very giant one, something about a little bigger than a man. It's walking up now. An Anchisaurus, a very small sauropod. He's not very big, but he's very easy for predators to hunt, as he does not have the tail and the strength as many other sauropods do. Thankfully, he does have the other two that can very much help him survive. The Anchisaurus starts to walk up and eventually gets next to them. He starts to eat some of the plants that surround the area. The Triceratops does not care necessarily that lots of them are here. As long as he gets his fill, he will be happy and fine. What they don't know is they're being stalked by a predator. Nothing large, but definitely something. Over in this part, we see something. This is Nolan. He's a Dilophosaurus. He's a relatively big one for his size, as they don't grow to be that big. Well, at least they grow to a decent size, enough to hunt down a small Anchisaur and a para. They're completely unaware about this, however, which means that it might be over for them. Nolan decides to play the better game and decides to hide underneath the rock formation. He sneaks, trying to be very still. The Anchisaur doesn't even see him. Perfect. The para and the Triceratops are too busy grazing. He knows he couldn't take on a full adult para. After all, they are like horses with their kicks. Or at least they're stronger than horses, but they can do a very serious kill. They can kill if you get a kick by a Parasaurolophus, you will die. They are very strong. So Nolan knows he should probably not kill the para. The Triceratops also lacks lacks the qualities that it would need to be a prey. After all, Nolan is not as strong as a T-Rex or any large animal that would normally hunt Triceratops. Heck, even T-Rex sometimes lose to these animals. So Nolan knows even a juvenile would be too much for him. That leaves only the Anchisaur, which is perfect, because he ran out of vegetation to eat where he is. It decides to start to walk off, eventually arriving very far away from the rest. They wouldn't be able to spot him, which is perfect for Nolan. He gets ready. He's just gotta jump, snap the ankle, and drag it deep into the forest. He leaps. A perfect blow. Blood starts to spray. The Anchisaur's leg is pretty much broken. He can't run away properly, which provides the Dilophosaurus the perfect time to get the kill. Kills like this are rare on this island. It was almost too easy for Nolan here. But he doesn't care. A meal is a meal. Even though something here just saw him do it. In the bushes, a lion emerges. Now this right here is a very strong animal. One of the strongest of our day. He will have to challenge Nolan to a fight. The winner gets the carcass. Nolan instantly perks up, getting ready to fight. Nolan backs up a bit, but the lion gets in closer. This is not good for Nolan. He slides first, getting a good hit on the lion's snout. But the lion leaps and grabs Nolan down. The lion is on top right now, but Nolan gets up. Not that damaged. He leaps on the lion and starts to wrestle with him for a bit before Nolan is sent flying. The lion, thinking that he won, starts to eat some of the carcass. But he's wrong. Nolan jumps and slashes the lion's leg. The lion, knowing that this is too much of a fight for not a very good carcass, decides that it's not worth losing his life over and walks off. Meanwhile, Nolan is there, eating his carcass. He has some wounds, but nothing fatal. Here we see a dead Andrewsarchus. And who is eating it? Well, Redneck, of course. This was the only food he could find after he lost that Styracosaurus. It's nothing. But it has filled him up for a couple of hours. Eventually, there is literally no bone or no meat left. So he walks off. He moves over to this area. A small, nice, desolated area where he can necessarily just stay safe for a little bit. But what he doesn't know is that there's actually a prey item that would really help him. A Parasaurolophus who wanders the area in search of food. He is alone, or she actually is alone. She spots a bush, starts to eat. What she doesn't know is that Redneck is going to take this opportunity to snatch a quick and easy meal. Now, Acrocanthosaurus, even a juvenile, he's more of a young adult, can easily take down a young Parasaurolophus. So, he moves up. Parasaurolophus notices him, though, and starts to run, but trips and falls. The Acrocanthosaurus' original plan was to use his very built head to smash the Parasaurolophus, sending them into the ground, disabling them. But it looks like it already did it for him. He goes in for the bite. There it lays, jugular bit out, bleeding. Finally, Redneck gets a meal. He's been looking for one for a long time. Now, we will move to a different animal. One that is way more crazy than Redneck. This is the Dryptosaurus from the pilot episode. The one that killed the Lion King. Now, he does deserve a name. But there's a lot that go into his name. He's a menace. He's selfless, but in terms of he'll run at an Ankylosaurus expecting that he'll end up killing it. We'll call him Rocky, as I feel that name suits him well. He decides to go on to a hunt, which we will watch. Here we see a calm and friendly giraffe munching on some nice grass. But it won't be for long. Rocky gets ready. He gets on the rocks and pounces and bites down on the neck. Blood splatters on the rock. He starts to eat the body of the giraffe. But now we will look at a tyrant, at a king. One that is known to rule the dinosaurs. What lays in this den is a dead rhino and a skeleton of a Pachyrhinosaurus. But this is not a tyrant lizard or a king, you might be asking. You might be saying to me. And yes, you're correct. There's no tyrants, there's no lizards, and there's definitely no kings here. The only lizard that was here was that Pachycephalosaurus, but it was dead when it arrived, so that doesn't really count. And that rhino definitely is not any of those. I mean, after all, it's dead. But something might be coming home. Something perks out of the bushes at the sounds of something arriving. Now, what you might be asking is, that is not a tyrant, lizard, or a king. Well, you'd be wrong. This is a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex, also known as T-Rex. And what's coming home is Well, its father. His father walks over the carcass, the Paki. He greets his son, happy that he is still alive, after being in the den alone for more than 5 hours. He decides to take a couple of nibbles out of the dead rhino, which still has a good amount of meat on it. And then he decides to go into where they rest, as it's starting to get late on the isle. But another one arrives. This is the mother. She greets the young Tyrannosaurus Rex as well. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is happy that his family is home. She doesn't decide to eat a little bit of the rhino, but yet she motions for the baby to come and join them as they go to sleep. The baby looks off into the island and then decides to follow them. Thank you for watching the first ever episode of An Island Lost to Time. Just like it said in the beginning of the video, please like, subscribe, and share this video, as I want to get my I want to be recognized by more people. But it's fine if you don't. I just hope you enjoyed the episode.